He takes a step back, he thinks for a second, he has a tough decision to make, right? Do you go for the $5 bill, stick your hand in a urinal, or do you just let it go? So about that time, another guy, Dave, walks into the bathroom. Dave assesses the situation, sees the $5 bill in the urinal, and says, "Dude, what are you gonna do? It's a tough situation." So Bob, about that time, quickly takes out a $50 bill out of his wallet, throws it into the urinal. Dave says, "What in the world are you thinking? Now there's $55 in the urinal." And Bob laughs and says, "Well, you didn't think I'd stick my hand in there for $5, right?" So Cori, who's one of my favorite authors, he calls that the buy-in principle of commitment. And the more we have invested, the idea is the more we have invested, the harder it would be to let it fail or to let it go. And the investment does not have to just be cash, it can be or money, it can be belief, it can be time, it can be something else. So, how many of you, I want to see a show of hands. Is there an echo? Oh gosh, I love those pictures. A show of hands. How many in here know someone, maybe you have mentored someone, a coach on your team, who you believe so strongly in, who has all the potential in the world and has done nothing? Raise your hand. Anybody? Maybe even in school you saw athletes, if you played sports, you saw an athlete who was so talented but he never did anything with it. Or in school, who was so smart but never really seemed to work hard or to have that translate into his grades. So we see wasted ability a lot. And the answer to that tough question basically comes down to how we react or how we respond in that pivotal, critical moment. So that's the differentiating factor in our lives. We have to create unacceptable consequences, which is what Bob in our story did by throwing the $50 bill into the urinal. Sucks, right? Sucks to stick your hand in a urinal. I've never done it, I'm happy to say. Probably you haven't either, but I think that what would suck more is to lose at this point, $55, right? I think that would suck more. That's an unacceptable consequence. So we need to stop spending so much time worrying about whether we're making the right decision. Just make the decision and then make it right. And that leads me to my story and why I think the Market Council here in Dallas, Stephanie Richardson, I think that's why they wanted me to talk to you guys about what a lot of people would consider a very unsexy topic, and that is the comp plan. Like Joy said, I'm a lawyer by degree. I actually have 4 degrees. I was working in Washington, D.C. as a litigator, over 100 hours a week regularly. My boyfriend at the time would send me boxes of tuna packets and consumables, anything I could eat at my desk, because he knew that I did not leave my desk to eat meals. I literally worked around the clock. I didn't talk to my family on the phone. I had no relationships outside of my job. And that's the choice I made. My husband was in Dallas at the time, and he is still embarrassed to this day to tell you that he planned our entire wedding. Yes, our entire wedding. That's rare for a dude, I know, but he did it. And I basically told him my vision, and he made it all come to fruition, which is amazing. And it was the most magical day ever. But I worked the next day, and the next day after that, and the next day after that. So instead of a honeymoon, I worked. So I don't even know how really we got married during that time. But we did. And I wrapped up a couple of cases. The boyfriend was not my husband. Wrapped up a couple of really large cases, and then was moving to Dallas finally to be with my husband in the same city. I was still going to work for a law firm. But during that time, literally during that trip, the drive from Washington, D.C. to Texas, I found out I was pregnant. And the desire of my heart has always been to have children and stay home with children. I was severely anorexic, in my early 20s, 80 pounds, I'm 5'8", severely anorexic, was hospitalized for months, went through years of therapy. So I was told I wouldn't have children, and it was pretty amazing to then be bearing a child. So I knew that I was not going back to 100 hours of work. As a lawyer, you don't really do part-time law. You work part-time, or you get paid part-time, but you work, when your client says you need to work, or when the deadline is. So that really wasn't an option. And a friend of mine from grad school approached me about this business that his wife was doing, and I jumped in. I did it for the business opportunity from day one. How many of you jumped in for the business opportunity from day one? There are quite a few of you, right? So I love fitness, I love health, but that's not why I became a Beachbody coach. I did it because I wanted to stay home with the baby that I was pregnant with. And I've been able to do that. But a little more of my story, and then I'll move on. My coach, I was moving along at a decent pace. I became an emerald, then I became a diamond in a few months. And my coach left, just fell off the planet, and I was a baby diamond. And that wouldn't be such a big deal, except I was cut off from the bigger team. My grandma upline, I always talk about it in terms of familial terms, genealogy, because I think it makes sense to talk about your mom as your upline, or your dad, your grandma upline, and so on and so forth. But because of some issues that I'm not going to go into right now, but just suffice it to say they were not within my control. I was not really part of a bigger team other than my coach, who just left the business. So as a baby diamond, I was on my own. And this was the pivotal, critical moment about which I was speaking. I had a decision to make. I could either just keep on coasting along at that point, like I had been doing the few months prior, or I could take control and I could actually make this a business and treat this like a business and lead a team. And that's when our team, Arete, who is now 4-time, going to be 5-time elite this year, most amazing team. That's when we were born, when that team was born, when that idea was born, when I was backed into a corner and I was either sink or swim. So, all that said, I'm on an inside dead leg. And I will tell you guys what that means in a minute. But I don't have any volume flowing down from above. So if you are on a spot like that, maybe you don't even know what that means, but have hope. It doesn't matter where you are, where you're placed, if you have volume given to you or not, you can still be successful in this business. You can still make a lot of money. You can still have financial freedom. Insert disclaimer, you gotta work for it. You can still have freedom of time. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So this is a simple, basic presentation of the comp plan, but what I've found is that most people, when they start, don't really understand how they make money. So I'm going to address that, hopefully, for you guys today. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, it's going to be simple. So there are lots of ways to earn, but the thing I want you guys to remember is it takes volume and rank, not one or the other. You don't want to be a diamond with all discount coaches and stop there. That's what we call a house of cards or an empty shell, because you're not going, this might be a surprise for you guys, you're not going to make a lot of money as a diamond coach. It's just, most people think that's like the end-all be-all and you're financially free when you get to diamond. Woohoo! It's not the way it works. You're going to be very disappointed. That's a stepping stone, and it's very important, but it's just that, a stepping stone. So we want you to make sure that you're building for rank and for volume. There are very often times there are emerald coaches who have the volume and they are making more than diamond coaches. And as Robbie just told us earlier, 7 out of 10 households are living month to month. So what we have is such a gift, and we need to be offering this to people because we have the very thing that can get them out of that predicament. The first way to earn money, you should know this one quite well. It's a challenge pack bonus. Typically, you guys know we earn 25% of whatever we sell. However, with challenge packs, we get a bigger percentage. It's anywhere from $40 to on the big packages, $140. You can look those up to see what each one is individually. But they get a discount by buying it in a package deal, and we get a bigger bonus on our end because we're not getting the team volume. So it's a win-win for us and for the customer. We're connecting them with the best solution for them in most cases. That's way one. That's the way most people earn money, and that's the way you as a brand new coach can earn money today. You can sell a challenge pack, the same solution that you came in the door with, and you can make a nice retail commission. The second way, like I said, retail commission of all of our products is generally 25%. Beachbody On Demand is a little bit higher, it's closer to 40%. But that is the second way you can earn money. But what's interesting is that most people stop there. And what you need to know is you will never, ever, like ever, find financial freedom staying in number 1 and 2, ever. So we say we don't want to sell anything, and yet that's all we do is retail. We sell challenge packs. And the problem with that, like I said, is you're not going to find financial freedom if that is your goal. It's fun to help people, absolutely. It's fun if you just want a little bit of extra spending money. But if your goal is to make this a job outside of just fun money, or if it's to actually find financial freedom, you are gonna have to start building a team and developing some leaders. And that leads me to number 3. So yeah, we are all, if you are a coach, you wanna help people, period, right? We all wanna help people. It's so gratifying. There's nothing more gratifying in the world than helping someone change her life, either physically or emotionally or financially. It's just the most gratifying job. We all want to do that or we wouldn't be coaches. And this is the thing, that's our job. Okay, that's our job. Our job is to change lives and to help people. However, it's okay to make money doing that. Okay? Yeah. Raise your hand if you think it's okay to make money doing that. Have you ever paid for a service? If you guys are anything like the coaches on my team, you pour yourself into your challengers. Guys, don't give that away for free. Add value all day long in your social media, but know your worth. You deserve, it's okay to get paid to do this. It's okay to earn an income. So right here, the next way to earn is called Team Cycle Bonus. And this way will become 90 to 95 or even higher percentage of your income as you grow and grow and grow. And there are 2 types of volume. There's personal volume and there's team volume. Personal volume is what you sell or buy personally. So if a customer buys something from you, or if you purchase something yourself, that's personal volume. Team volume is whatever your team sells. That's the volume from your team. So PV and TV are not always the same. They are with Shakeology. They're both 90, right? PV and personal volume and team volume for Shakeology is 90. Most products, the TV and the PV are different. There's a chart in your online office. I'm not going to go into all of that. But just know that they're different, especially like challenge packs. It's a smaller team volume, but a bigger personal volume. And the money has to sort of come from somewhere. So you get the higher commission or bonus on the challenge pack, but it's lower team volume. So just be aware of that. When we're talking about Team Cycle Bonus, we're talking about team volume. Okay, and this is why it's important also to really dig deep into your team. One really cool thing about our comp plan is that it goes all the way down. I was just in a network marketing group this last week, and one of the people in there was talking about a comp plan that went 12 levels deep and how amazing that was. And they were like, this comp plan is like the best I've ever seen. It goes down 12 levels. There's a lot of them cap at 3 levels and 5 levels. well, and I've read quite a few that are somewhere in that ballpark. Ours goes all the way down. That means that I have a coach who's on level 126. I make the same volume from that coach as I do my personally sponsored coach. If my personally sponsored coach sells a Shakeology, that's 90 TV. If that coach 126 levels down sells a Shakeology, 120 or 90 TV. Same thing. Same. Okay, now that's why it's really, really, really important to work with all the coaches in your downline who are working. You identify those coaches, you reach out to those coaches, you work with them. It might not help you rank advance. It might not help you hit elite. Sometimes the corporate programs are aligned with our own personal goals, but you're gonna have to boss up and be a business owner and make those tough decisions sometimes and figure out what your goals are and if that's aligned with your goals. If your goal is income, then elite may or may not make sense for you. It did for me because of where my placement was, but it may not always. So that's something else to consider. When they win, go back please. When they win, you win. So that's a really cool thing about our comp plan, any network marketing comp plan really, is that your team, when they win, you win. I don't know about you, but I have 3 children, a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old. That's crazy town, like next level crazy. I'm with them all day, every day. It's absolutely insane. I love not every second. I don't love every second. I love 60%. And the other 40% is hard. My husband travels a lot for work. And I do a lot of single parenting, and it's really hard. But you know what? Last week, my 1-year-old took his first step at 10 o'clock on a Monday. And guess who was there to see it? Me. If I had been working as a lawyer, that never, ever, ever would have happened. I would not be the person who would have seen him take that first step. And that, to me, is priceless. So that's why we're even talking about this. But so I want to talk to you a little bit about placement, because that might sound crazy to you guys, or confusing, next level confusing. Okay, this is actually Amber Bailey's diagram that she did, and she did a great job with it, so why recreate? Your coach is at the top, and obviously you are where you are right there. And this is just an example, but a sister coach is somebody who's also the personally sponsored coach of your coach. So let's say my coach Jackie is here. I have another coach named Jody. Jody would be her sister coach because they're both my personally sponsored coaches. Does that make sense? Yes, perfect. Okay, then I have my PS coaches, or your PS coaches there. Then you see another sister coach who your upline has brought in. And then that person may be signed to PS coaches, and so on and so forth. And that's what a strong leg looks like. Okay, that's a strong leg. That's an example. So you get all the volume flowing from that leg if you were on a strong leg. It's the leg you're on if you're upline, generally speaking. And those can flip-flop, but that's another story for another day. So that's what it looks like. And you get, go back again one more time. Yeah, okay, so when your strong leg has 200 TV and your weak leg has 100 TV, no one's ever going to add anyone to your weak leg but you. Okay, so that's the one you, generally speaking, you want to focus on. Anytime you bring in a new coach, you do your best guess whether that person's going to build or not. You never know really what someone's going to do. So it's just your best guess. You have 5 days to change someone's placement. Talk with your upline directly. If your upline doesn't work the business, look in your online office, look for your Star Diamond upline, ask them. I guarantee you they will have no problem checking out your online office. They will help you figure out placement. So that's important to see. But you cycle every time you have 200 to 100 TV. And now you can switch slides. This is me, okay? So my great-grandpa upline was a founding coach. And then you can see my grandma upline, and I have some aunts. There are probably some more aunts in there than I have represented in this picture. But she has a very strong leg. Okay, my upline is on a very strong leg. However, my upline had a weak leg. I'm on the bottom of that weak leg. She had discount coaches only, and then she has me down here at the bottom of that weak leg. What that means is that I'm not receiving any volume. She's no longer building. She left the building, like literally left, maybe the planet, I don't know. I really don't know. Like years ago. And so no one has seen or heard from her. And I'm not receiving volume, have never received volume from her. And so she's not putting anyone under me, and no one else is either, because they're discount coaches above me. So, everything, and it's kind of a source of pride, because I've not ever received volume, but we've built something amazing. Like, seriously amazing. Our team, I could go on and on and on, and I love them so much. Some of them are here, and it's so cool to look in your online office and click on team and know that every single dang one of those people, either you brought in or is the offspring of someone who you brought in, and you work closely with all of those people. And so while it's not as fun necessarily to have to build that way, it's absolutely doable. Okay. So back to the 200 to 100 TV. $14 when you're an Emerald, you cycle, so you gotta get to Emerald as soon as possible. You cycle one time, $14. That doesn't sound like very much, but when you're cycling 50 times, it's considerably more. $16 is a Ruby coach, $18 is a Diamond coach. It never becomes more than $18 a cycle. So the moral of the story here is get to Diamond as quickly as you can. Get that cycle going. Some things to remember. You cannot bank volume until you are Emerald. So you get no team cycle bonus until you're Emerald. You cannot bank volume until you're Emerald. All those people, the chart where I showed you, the diagram that you may, or it might be some version of something you've seen, the cool thing is that you get volume from all those people above you who you may or may not even know. And people who the people above you bring in, you may not know them either, and you get volume from all of those people too. And that's amazing. So, you can't even receive any of that volume until you're at least an Emerald or above. So, if you're not yet Emerald, get there today. Write down your 2 people, get there today. It's doable in a day, absolutely. When your unused volume, this is important. If you ever go inactive, you lose all of that unused volume. My husband is actually at the top of one of my legs, and for a long time he had 400,000 unused volume that was carrying over. So of course I shifted and started building everybody on the other leg there so I could take advantage of that volume. But if he ever went inactive, all of that would go bye-bye. So make sure that you know it's really important to stay active. Yeah, and your unused volume keeps carrying over. And then, like I said before, you earn levels, you will earn income from all levels in your drill down, which is pretty amazing. This is just a chart that I want you to see if you haven't seen it before, because it was pretty eye-opening for me. And you can see at the top, you cap at $250 a week. I'll put these in the TVD page so you don't have to write it all down or take pictures. But just look at it for a second. It kind of gives you an example. If you have a strong leg and weak leg, you would have 5,400 volume total, and then you'd have 1,800, so about a third on your weak leg, and about 3,600 on your strong leg. That's what it would look like to cap out at $250 a week as an Emerald. So if you are an Emerald and your volume looks nothing like that, then what are you going to do? You're going to work on increasing that volume. And that's another talk for another day, but there are lots of ways to do that and lots of really good calls about that we can certainly recommend for you. But go down. You can see, like I'm a 9-star diamond, for instance. I can max out at $11,000 a week from Team Cycle bonus. That's pretty cool, right? So if you're not anywhere near that, then like let's say you're a 5-star, but you're not making anywhere near $7,000 a week on your Team Cycle bonus. Well, then you know that it's less important to get to 6-star and much more important to start building deep in your downline and up that volume. So really it's rank versus volume. Once your volume is maxed out at your level, then you gotta increase your rank. But it's really important to make sure that you're building deep and you're not just a house of cards, that you're also increasing that volume. Now, way to earn number 4. Team cycle matching bonus, and this is my very favorite way to earn because this means your coaches are making money and they are duplicating. They are building businesses that are lucrative and that are earning more and more money. So I love to see my team cycle bonus increasing. It starts at Ruby, 5% and then 10% for Diamonds. And you can see the example. If Diamond Coach Molly earns $500 team cycle bonus, for the week, her coach gets a $50 commission. So it's just 10% of that. So while it doesn't seem like a big deal if she cycled one time and that's $18 and you made $1.80, that's not that big. But you'll see as it grows and grows and grows that can become hundreds and even thousands of dollars. And then the next way to earn, number 5, total company volume quarterly bonus pool. It's kind of like profit sharing. You get 0.5% at 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, and 15-star, and they're cumulative. So the 15-star gets the 2-star bonus, the 5-star bonus, the 10-star bonus, and the 15-star bonus. And you have to hold that rank for 6 weeks within each quarter. So that's the important thing to note there. But there are a lot more 2-stars than there are 15 stars. So the 2-star bonus is going to be much smaller because it's split maybe 300 ways, or probably more than that. I don't know how many 2-stars there are. But the 15-star bonus, I believe there are only like 50 lifetime 15 stars, and not all of those hold it every single quarter. So that one's going to be split among a much smaller pool. So that's going to be a lot bigger bonus. So something to look forward to. Mm-hmm. And the last ways to earn, number 6, you have the fast start bonus. And if a coach earns 5 fast start bonuses, that's basically when you sign up a coach with a challenge pack. And if you do 5 of that within a rolling 35-day period, you get an extra $100. And that is a really great goal for a new coach to have something for them to aim for. And then the last way is elite. You get $100 a month when you are 5-star and elite each month. And then you also get an additional $400 every month if you are in the top 200. So for a total of $500. Now a lot of companies will do cars, luxury cars and things like that. You probably have seen them online, the Lexuses or whatever. So I don't even know if it's the plural Lexuses, I don't know, Lexi, whatever it is. You've seen them online. And as soon as they don't hit whatever mark they have to hit, they have to take over the payments on a car that they probably would not have chosen. Wow. People who are not living large necessarily, but have this luxury car that they're having to make the payments on, that maybe, take all $500. However, you can have this $500 go towards a car, maybe your Honda or your Ford, that is more along the lines of what you would normally drive. And I'm not knocking whatever car you have, that's great. Not knocking that, but I'm just saying that the cool thing is that we can use it for a house, we can use it for a college fund, we can use it for a vehicle, whatever your needs are. Groceries, you can use it for whatever you need it to be used for. So that's pretty cool, I think. That I would much rather have the cash than a car payment. Now, to maximize this, we still, probably all the leaders who stood up in here, we all have a Success Club. We make it a goal every month to hit Success Club. I guarantee you we all still do that. We still run challenge groups every month. We train our coaches to do the same, to run challenge groups every single month. But I'm always looking for the people who want to run with me. I'm looking for the people who want to stay home with their kids, or who need extra money, who want to bring their spouse home from a job, who are rocking my challenge group, who are dropping weight, who have lost 105 pounds, throw up a transformation picture like my coach Jackie, and sell like 20 challenge packs, in a day. So you're looking for those people always, the natural encouragers. You're looking for the people who have the grit and who would make great coaches, because that's really how you do this business well. You develop those leaders, and then you also develop your reach, because you can't help everyone. Like I was saying earlier, and I got sidetracked, I'm a busy mom. I can't help everyone. I just can't. Even if I would love to, even if I have the heart to, I don't have the time in the day, unless I took all the time away from my kids and my family who need me. So you build a team, because together you can help those people. You can help a lot more people, and that's really important. So you want to always be doing that. And until you're a 2-star, you want to spend at least 80% of your time looking for those people. So look for those builders. Discount coaches are fine. A lot of times, I think Amber Bailey was a discount coach. A lot of really great coaches who end up being incredible coaches, start as discount coaches. So I don't want to discount them, no pun intended. But you don't want to discount them, but you're looking for your builders always. You want to build deep and wide, and you want to build for time or financial freedom. And it looks different for all of us, but you do that by growing leaders, developing those leaders, and spending time with those leaders, and teaching them to duplicate. Like I said before, sometimes the shiny objects make sense, and sometimes they just don't. The really cool thing about our comp plan is that it's stable. It's been around a long time, and there are a lot of companies you see who are really front-loaded, and people are getting big bonuses in their first week or their first month, and that looks attractive, right? Those companies, watch for a year, watch for 2 years, watch for 3 years, and see if they're still around. Because what I've seen I'm like a relic in the business. I've been around for 6 years, so I feel like kind of a dinosaur. We didn't have YouTube trainings or any of that when I started. We didn't have any trainings in the back office. It was back to that pivotal moment, that sink or swim moment. I had to learn the comp plan because I had to figure it out. There weren't trainings on it. There were no trainings at all. It looked a lot different. But it's important to take ownership of your business and learn. If you're not an emerald yet, get to emerald. If you're not a diamond yet, get to diamond as soon as possible to start maximizing that team cycle bonus. But we do it brick by brick. You work with your coaches, you work with your downline. And remember that this is a business, and sometimes you do have to make those hard decisions. Stephanie Richardson was able to go home to Houston, where her dad was, who was fighting cancer, and be at his side for weeks at a time for the years that he fought for 4 years. She was able to do that because of the freedom that she had created by working hard within the confines of this comp plan for years. Julie Schulte Strother, same thing. Her father passed away, and she was able to be there. She was able to deal with all of the arrangements, but she was more than that, able to spend that time with him when he was sick. And for me, it's not a loved one who's sick, but it's my kids. It's wanting to raise them. I'm not going to ever be a 100-hour-a-week coach. I'm going to be working 20 to 25 hours a week, and the mom cracks in my day. Truly, that's all I have. Maybe forever. I don't know if my kids are ever going to go to actual school, so their schools are very short, it seems. And so that's why I do it, but it can be whatever you want it to be. Just realize that the potential that you have, the opportunity you have in front of you is limitless, and it's only limited by you. So I want to leave you with one of my favorite passages from Take the Stairs by Rory Baden. Have you guys ever read it? No. It's my favorite book right now. I love it, love it, love it. A bookmark that my 5-year-old, he knew I wanted to use this, and he was like, I'm gonna help you, Mommy, and made this. So it's crush it where you're at. One of the most common questions I get asked, whether it's about a job, or relationship, or some other life decision, is, Rory, when do I know if I should leave to try something new? My response is almost always the same, and it's very simple. Have you maximized your potential in the current situation? If the answer is yes, and you're at the top of that profession, and you feel like leaving, go ahead. If the answer is no, Then you go to work until you do, and then you evaluate your decision. If you're not maximizing your potential where you are, then you can never know if you should leave because you haven't experienced all it has to offer. Another way of thinking about it is that your decision will look much different after you've committed and played wholeheartedly with full effort than it does right now. Without ever doing that, it's not fair to yourself or the other people involved to leave your current situation. It's interesting to note that successful people tend to be successful everywhere they go in whatever they do. You guys all know people like that? Like everything they touch turns to gold. For example, with enough time and training, a top realtor could probably be a top financial advisor, even if it's not her most natural vocation. Michael Jordan comes to mind, right? His God-given gift is basketball. He might not be able to master something quite like he mastered basketball, but the discipline and commitment he had makes him a pretty dang good baseball player and a golfer too. And that explains why Vince Lombardi says winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. Some people have the habit of victory and success, and although we like to believe that these people have glamorizing mystical power, the truth is much more basic than that. They commit. They commit to whatever it is they want to do. If you ask me, that's the impressive part. That they can commit and exercise self-discipline in just about anything they do. So you must crush it where you're at. You must dominate whatever it is you're doing. You must do everything in your power to reach the top of whatever game it is you're playing. Because if you don't, then you're not a successful person looking for a new challenge to take on. You're a person with conditional commitment, looking for a new set of circumstances, and most likely starting the same self-defeating pattern all over again. Success is not a matter of circumstance, it's a matter of choice. Finding new circumstances won't make you successful, but making new choices will.